joining us now from Senate Budget and Senate Finance. He's Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson. Senator, it's great to see you again. Thank you so much for joining us. What do you make of, Trump looking to lay off nearly 7,000 workers at the IRS? There's that. Democrats and the media are attacking all this. They're saying things like that will hurt tax refunds. They're saying that DOGE is not finding the amount of waste that Trump and Elon Musk are claiming. What is really happening?
So first of all, I love what Elon is doing. I love what DOGE is doing. They are uncovering and exposing the American public the grotesque levels of waste, fraud, and abuse. But we need to turn that exposure into law. We need to turn that into spending reductions. And let me give you numbers. People in Washington, D.C. don't like numbers. In 2019, we spent $4.4 trillion in total. This year, we will be spending $7.3 trillion. That's a 61% increase in 6 years when our population has grown by 2.6%. Now, the House budget, listen, I appreciate what they're trying to do. The House budget at most would take it from 7.3 down to 7.1 trillion. What I proposed is not zero-based budgeting. Everybody campaigns on that. We'll never achieve that, but I'm proposing a pre-pandemic level of spending. I've given 4 options. Go back to 1998, you inflate it by population growth, inflation, use this year's Social Security, Medicare, and interest. You'd be spending $5.5 trillion off that Clinton budget. Obama's budget from 2014, $6.2 trillion. Trump's 2019 outlays, $6.5 trillion. And what we're using the Senate budget is actually Trump's own budget for 2025 with today's Social Security, Medicare, and interest. That's $6.061 trillion, a massive difference from where the House is right now. That's got to be our target. We need to turn what DOGE is identifying into real spending reductions. We need to actually reduce the deficit, if not balance the budget, before we start paying out dividend checks.
Yeah, so what you're saying is basically that lawmakers, including especially Democrats, want to keep enshrined in the law wartime spending that we didn't need, that we saw in the pandemic. The pandemic, we saw wartime spending without the war. Is that what's going on?
Yeah, listen, no family, if they had a sick family member, right, had to borrow $50,000 to pay for medical expenses. If that family member got well, they wouldn't keep borrowing $50,000 and keep spending at that level. That's exactly what we did. Spent $4.4 trillion in 2019, then spent $6.5 trillion, and we never really decreased that. We've averaged $6.5 trillion for 5 years. Now we're up to $7.3 trillion.
The American people see the American people have been getting hammered. They see half of their paychecks going to taxes. They don't like the fact that their money's been blown out the back door in D.C. It's unfair to them. They've been struggling with inflation for the past 4 years under Biden, so they do want to see bigger refund checks. Let's get your reaction to. I just want to get your
Elizabeth.
Yeah, go ahead.
What has really stolen their purchasing power is inflation, and that was caused by massive deficit spending.
We understand that, but I want your reaction to Democrat Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett saying she doesn't know why people think they need $5,000 in DOGE dividend checks. She's downplaying what people need. Listen to this. Let's get your reaction.
So, no, we are not in the business of giving out money. And honestly, I don't know what $5,000 will do for you.
So she says we're not in the business of giving out money when DOGE is finding, yes, it looks like the federal government is very much in the business of giving out money.
We have to stop printing dollars. That means to start reducing the deficit. And the fact of the matter is inflation is the worst invisible tax. It's highly regressive. It hurts everybody, particularly the poor. So let's get our deficit under control and balance the budget. That's the best thing we can do.
We hear you. Senator Ron Johnson, by the way, the Chicago Fed researchers, San Francisco Fed researchers agree with you. The government overspending is inflationary.